And our next guests are ready. They're there with Nick Monroe, one of the hottest duos on tour on doubles. They're #1 in the race. They got 2 major titles together this year, Australian Open and Wimbledon last year. Say hello to Harri Heliovaara and Henry Patten. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, the boys.
Yeah, pounds all around. You got myself, you got Jimmy, you got Tracy. Did you guys get a practice in today? What's your off day looking like?
Yeah, we did. Had a good 2 hours in the heat and feeling good.
Guys, so, thanks for coming. And, when you guys walked in, I asked you, how long have you guys been playing together? You said almost a year. You've already won Wimbledon last year, Australian Open this year. What has been working so well for you guys? And I'll start with you, Harri.
Well, we found the right partners to each other, I have to say that. I mean, yeah, I think on court and off court we clicked immediately. We played our first tournament together exactly a year ago and won that one. That was the first ATP for Henry, and I hadn't won that many before that either. And I mean, it clicked. It's kind of like a relationship. You know when you found the right guy next to you, and just enjoy it so far every day.
And Henry, what do you think?
I don't know. We get along pretty well off the court. We share the same kind of dry sense of humor, which is really nice. Makes a big difference when you're traveling with someone all the time. And yeah, obviously on court it seems to be working. It's quite nice watching these clips back. I haven't seen these for a while.
Tracy, before you go, I got to say, Henry, I don't know if you remember, but hopefully you remember, Alexi Popyrin and I played you and Julian Cash in the Nottingham Challenger. You all destroyed us in the first round, and I remember calling my dad right away and going, this guy could win Wimbledon this year. And sure enough, it was 2 years later, you won Wimbledon. And so it was no surprise to me, and you guys are doing great things. Tracy, go ahead.
No, I had to ask about this match because, Henry, I do BBC. We all know that the UK stops for 2 weeks when Wimbledon comes on, and it's so important for everybody to have the Brits doing well. And for you to come in and win the title here against the Aussies after saving a match point, what was that moment right there like? That's so special.
It was completely unbelievable. I think both of us were just in a zone of disbelief, as you can see again. And yeah, I was kind of saying to my whole family, what has just happened? What has happened?
Did you dream of that? I mean, could you even have dreamt that?
No. I maybe had a slightly unconventional route to where I am now, and growing up being a professional tennis player wasn't necessarily a dream of mine. But that being said, like you said, Wimbledon has been a massive part of my life forever. So it was extra special to do it there.
Love it.
So you guys both are a little different as tennis pros because, and I'm going to ask each separately. So, Harri, I looked at your record. In 2004, you got your first ATP points. In 2021, you got to the top 100. First of all, that's incredible perseverance. Second of all, what happened in these
When did he get his first ATP point? When he's 4 years old? Or what?
I'm just telling you when he got his first ATP point, and it was 17 years later, top 100. What clicked the last couple of years that allowed you to have this success as opposed to those, 2 decades?
No, first of all, that reminded me that I'm quite old.
You're never old.
You're not as old as me, so I can pull it
yeah, let's say experienced. I mean, I stopped playing tennis for almost 5 years in between also, but came back especially focusing on more doubles after that break, and just fought hard and had the dream of playing Olympics, and that just kept me going. And I don't know. It's about finding the right partner, finding the right support at home, and just believing in what you do. And I'm super proud to be here. I didn't think I would be here if you asked me 10 years ago.
Yeah, especially winning 2 of the last 3 slams. Incredible stuff. For Henry, I was reading that you only played once or twice a week, sort of growing up as a teenager, and you played all these other sports. And then you went to the tennis powerhouse, UNC Asheville.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When did you start thinking that I'm going to be a professional tennis player? I'm going to go onto the tour and try to play with that sort of start. Most tennis players have parents that are so tough on them, and it starts at such a young age. How did that work for you?
My parents were incredibly tough on me. I don't want to let them get away with that. But not necessarily in tennis. But yeah, UNC Asheville was unbelievable for my development. I went in, I was probably ranked about 30 in the UK, which is obviously a small country, not great, not playing that much. And just developed so much in Asheville, which is an amazing town, and kind of where I'm based now. Basing myself out of Chapel Hill now, which is in North Carolina.
In Tar
as well.
Heel land, baby.
Oh, yeah. Although I think during my college career, I don't think I ever lost to a Tar Heel, so I'm very proud of that.
I like that. Fighting words. Fighting words. I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, just to sound like a broken record, I don't think either of us could believe that we're standing here with 2 Grand Slams in the last year. It's special.
Harri, I have a question. You talked about 5 years you stopped playing tennis, and from what I read, you were working at the airport, and that may be the best thing that you ever did, stopping, because you met your wife. What were some of the jobs that you had when those 5 years away, and then how was it meeting your wife there at the airport?
No, that was one of the best decisions I made in life, to work at the airport, to find my wife there. But I mean, I work at the Tennis Federation of Finland. I studied engineering and management, so I also did an internship at McKinsey & Company, and also another internship at the private equity firm. So I tried a lot of things and enjoyed all of them, but nothing more than tennis. So that was just the heart, the passion that brought me back to the sport.
Yeah, you probably had that office job, and you said, "I'm out of here."
I gotta stay talking about the airport, because I know you have a love for planes, and sometimes you will go to an airport and just watch the planes fly in and out, correct? So tell us about that. That sometimes maybe give us a story of when you've gone to an airport to watch. I think Lloyd Glasspool told me in Winston-Salem you might have gone to an airport close by to just kind of watch the planes fly in and out. And then also you have kind of a fear of flying over here. So it's two people that have 2 separate thoughts on flying.
I know. I mean, you don't have to go back a long time. Last week, I visited Henry in Chapel Hill and went to Raleigh-Durham Airport to watch some planes. They had a beautiful observation deck where you can watch what's happening on the runway. And I mean, I love watching planes. I love being on the planes. I did some crazy travels during my off years. Even went to North Korea to fly on some special planes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's something I really enjoy.
No way.
I mean, I keep telling him it's.
So how are you getting this guy to enjoy flying?
That just sounds like my absolute worst nightmare. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm a lot better now, but sort of teenage years, had a phobia of flying and didn't get on a couple of flights. I was supposed to get on going to family holidays. So yeah, I've come a long way since then. But yeah, I'm more of a direct route, as quick as possible.
Last one on the flying. You mentioned North Korea, but I also heard that you flew Helsinki, London, New York, LA, Hawaii, stayed for about a day and a half, and flew those exact 5 cities back to Helsinki. So what was that? You just wanted to go to Hawaii for a day and a half and fly back?
What's a better way to spend a weekend than go to Hawaii, right?
Okay. So that was it. That was the story.
That was it. I love flying. I love going to new places. Beautiful island. So
I love it.
Have you ever piloted a plane yourself, Harri, or no? You just like to watch them and ride in them?
I love to watch them. I wanted to become a pilot when I stopped playing tennis, but I didn't pass the medical because of my back issues. So here I am playing tennis, feeling quite good with my body.
That's unbelievable.
I think you should try it when you're done with tennis this next time.
That's amazing.
Absolutely, I will get my private. Private
Henry,
license.
I'm more on your side there. You know, I'm a little bit
I
scared.
think most people probably are.
Yeah.
I think you have to be a little bit crazy.
White knuckle.
Yeah, Jimmy's
really
looking
enjoy
for
that.
things to do on a Saturday night, so just go to LAX next time you're here and just chill on the observation deck.
I'll see you.
I got a question for Henry. I'll start with you, Henry. I always like to get your thoughts on 10-point tie breaks because for most of the tour events, 10-point tie break for third set, for the Grand Slams, full third set. A lot of people will say that it's so quick and it's so random, but I like to remind people that if you win 10 points, it's almost 3 games. It's like half a set. Do you think that the top 50 rankings in the world would be a lot different if you did a full third set the entire year? Or would it be similar?
I think it would be pretty similar. I think you find with most of the best pairs, they tend to play their best at the end of the matches. That's something that we really emphasize and try and do. So whether it's a 10-point breaker or a third set, I don't think it makes that much difference. That being said, it adds a bit of jeopardy. It's quite exciting. I think for fans as well, it's great because anything can happen, and it's over a lot quicker than a full third set. So yeah, we get used to it. Like you said, we play it all year round. So for us, it's completely normal.
Henry, I wanted to ask you about, I follow a lot of the Challengers tours and seeing the results. I know 2-3 years ago you were playing singles and doubles. and you seem to be having some good results. Where does it come a time where you go, you know what, I'm going to give up on that dream, or maybe you haven't, give up on that dream of playing singles and choose just to predominantly play doubles, or are you still playing singles and doubles?
I'm just playing doubles now, although you're right, I do have a lot more time than Harri to maybe pick that back up. We'll see. No, so yeah, I was playing both. I think I was ranked about 460, which was my career high. And then out of the blue, me and Julian Cash got a wild card into some challenges. I think we played Nick in one of them. Yeah, and unfortunately we did pretty well.
He took us down pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then we made the kind of joint decision, look, we want to play the biggest events that we possibly can and try and make a living out of this. And yeah, then we tried to do singles and doubles, but when you're doing well in doubles, it's difficult to then go and play qualifying singles the next week.
As far as your practice, you know, you guys practiced for 2 hours today, leading into the match tomorrow. I think fans would like to know kind of your focus in that practice. How much of it is focused on serves, returns, and then net play? Is there a certain percentage that you kind of put on all of those different things?
Yeah, well, of course, doubles is you need to have all those.
Right.
All of those. So
do you focus on one more than the other, or is it?
I think we always have to get enough serves and returns,
Okay.
and that's the key. I mean, normally you will still start with some ground strokes, volleys, but go through them quite quickly to get the serve and return as much as possible, because that's, especially here in Miami, you have quite a fast surface, so you get a lot of short points that include serve, return, maybe one volley.
Yeah.
But it's so key to make a lot of first serves, hit the returns aggressively, and just you got to work those things in practice, what you're going to do in the match.
And Harri, I got to take you back just quickly back to Rio de Janeiro. You were traveling with Jarkko Nieminen, and I was there playing that tournament. And I remember you were there with Jarkko, and Jarkko went to South America because it was the only time he had ever been to South America in his career, and he knew he was retiring at the end of that year. And you went along with him to kind of be a buddy. You weren't playing on the tour at this time. You had a different job, not sure which job you were doing at the time, but you weren't really thinking yet of coming back. And I remember, you know, we played some beach volleyball together, and we were kind of hanging out, and you had no thoughts of coming back, and then here you are now. And so were you watching tennis there in Rio and just thinking like, man, I can still play with these guys?
I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. That was
what has Jarkko meant to you in your career as well?
Yeah, I mean, he was a big role model for all my life, but also, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but he took me on that trip, maybe showed me that I probably had stopped for 2 years at that time. He showed me, like, you see what these guys are doing. This Nick Monroe is playing here with Brunström, guys that I've seen.
That you've known.
Yeah, I've known for a long time, and they are doing well in, like, playing in the top 100 easily.
Yeah.
And maybe that was, like
they were
some.
You
saw Nick playing and you thought, well, I can do that.
Saw me playing. He was like, I can do that easy.
Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, so I thank you for that.
Okay, all right. And Jarkko's been a big instrument in your career because he's the Davis Cup captain as well.
He still practices with us.
Okay.
He's super fit, and also he's had some nice discussions with me throughout my career, like supporting me and trying to find the best thing for me to do on court and off court.
Boys, talk a little bit about how there's singles players playing doubles. They get in the tournaments, but they often are serving and staying back. Would you rather play a team of singles guys or another conventional doubles team?
Henry.
I think it heavily depends on which two singles guys it is. So, you see sort of Jordan Thompson and Sebi Korda is a great example of two guys who are very, very strong from the baseline.
Yeah, they're kind of both.
Yeah, and they kind of know what doubles players like to do and how they like to move. On the other hand, I mean, we played Novak Djokovic in Doha, and I mean, it's crazy to say this, but we weren't that impressed with his doubles, especially his returning. It was all very central, which obviously in singles he's really well known for, but in doubles, we have our partner to kind of chop it off at the net. And same with Zverev. We played Zverev first round Indian Wells, and it was quite comfortable again, just because he wasn't that comfortable at the net. That being said, you come up against a Shelton or and Pech Perikar was playing today with those serves. We don't see that too much from the doubles guys. So yeah, it's interesting. I think it depends on who's on the other side of the net.
Sinner, Alcaraz, Heliovaara, Patten. Who wins that doubles match?
Like that.
I'm going with my boys on this one. I'm going with my boys here.
I am too, but I wanted to hear them say it.
Exactly.
You didn't have to answer for them.
We want it on video.
Yeah, I think we back ourselves there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I like it.
Oh,
No,
okay,
no
so
problem. No problem.
So who's backing yourself in golf? Because I know you like to play a
great
lot
question.
of golf when you're not playing tennis,
Yeah.
and I heard you're a pretty good golf player as well. So if $1 million is in a bag right here, and you're going to go on the course, who's taking it?
What's the score at the moment?
4-3 you
Yeah.
in the last 2
Oh.
weeks.
So it's 4-3 to me.
In the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of golf.
Yeah,
All right.
we've-
So then who's taking it then in this
Well,
situation?
with that much pressure, I think I will handle it better.
It's true. My putting has been absolutely terrible. We were seeing all sorts
There
of
would-
it. It was
there
like
would be
3
so-
putts,
yeah.
4 putts. It was
I would give you some comments. and
So,
that
you're,
would
so
just
you're
not
taking the
look
pressure.
good. Oh yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I
So
like
It
it.
sounds like Harri's not even giving you like the 2-footers. He's making you putt them all out, huh?
He makes me putt everything. He's always just constantly yapping in my ear.
Yapping?
So, since we've been on this match, Pegula up 3 love and possibly a chance for a double break. It's been a topic of conversation as of late about the U.S. Open mixed doubles. Harri, you're a former U.S. Open mixed doubles champion. You seem like the chillest guy we've ever had up in the booth. Like, have you ever been like upset at anything? When you found out the news about Mixed Madness, for the fans that don't know, the tournament will be played during the qualies week before week 1. Only 16 teams, 8 of them are secured for singles players. We don't know who's going to get the wild card spots. Your initial reaction when you first saw that, and maybe has it changed at all since?
Well, I think for mixed doubles it is a great thing. Unfortunately for myself, it's an awful thing. So there's two sides.
Nice guy.
I think what's better for mixed doubles than primetime TV, bigger stars playing that everybody watches it. The club players will see more mixed doubles, which is not what they often play at home. For the doubles guys like us, we're not in it. And that hurts a little bit, obviously, especially having won it in the past. But now I have basically zero chance to be in the tournament anymore and defend that title after 2 years. But I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm very open to changes. I think we got to do something about it. Even we played the final against Pegula actually 2 years ago. Pegula and Krajicek, 2 Americans, but still on Arthur Ashe Stadium. He was empty, unfortunately, and that's not how a Grand Slam final should be played. So I think for tennis overall, the change will be good.
Harri and Henry, I have a question about tactics in doubles, because it seems like over the last decade, maybe decade and a half, that net person, when your partner is serving, is just in the middle of the court. And as you said, Henry, you're going to chop it off. That's what you guys do. And so what is the plan for the returner? How do you know when to go down the line, cross, lob? I mean, you guys must be talking about it. You had to practice that. And then it was interesting, we had Bob Bryan on last week during Indian Wells, and he thought maybe something to counter that was the net player would have to be at least past the service line until the return goes in, and then they can move forward, because the points are so much shorter. What do you think about both of those things?
Yeah, well, I mean, as with anything, a lot of it comes down to scouting. So maybe, you know, watching our opponents and knowing where they're going to move, or certain plays that they like. You know, if they like to serve tee and cross, then, you know, I'm probably gonna try and return line. But yeah, there's always an opponent on the other side of the net. For me, I just try and hit it pretty hard, try and hurt them that way. I think Harri's maybe more known for his finesse, kind of lob shots to try and avoid the net guy.
But I guess what's changed, Henry, is they're 2 feet from the net. You know, it used to be kind of on that side. That's what's changed, and so the points are shorter.
Yeah, they're much shorter. I think people are putting a real premium on when we're serving, you know, having the net guy really close, and even if you get lobbed, your partner's there to kind of back it up. I think serves are bigger, and yeah, the game's changed. I think people are covering territory much better than maybe they were back in the day. In terms of changing the rules, I don't know, it's difficult, because obviously, you know, again, the doubles players have invested so much time and energy in that, and I think, you know, it can be quite impressive, some of the reaction shots that people are able to hit and kind of crazy gets. But obviously that isn't shown as much. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're quite at the stage for a rule change that's big as of yet. Certainly I'd be a little bit more nervous about playing Sinner and Alcaraz if that was the case.
Good call.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see you know, more kind of slow-mo videos maybe of the guys reacting so quickly, because it is impressive.
Henry, I got to ask you about what you practice on your returns, because I feel like you put a lot of returns in the alley. Is that something that you practice? Because even when you're in a cross-court rally with someone, you are so good at using that forehand inside out into the alley or going down the line with it. So are you practicing those alley balls like nonstop?
Yeah, I mean, we prioritize offense is kind of how we work. And yeah, like I said, you know, Djokovic, who's maybe more used to hitting returns more centrally, you don't get any benefit out of that at all, because the net guy's going to chop it off all day. So yeah, when we're practicing returns and serves, we're trying to serve to spots and we're trying to return into the alleys.
In the alleys.
You know, there's no use in being kind of defensive when you're returning.
Yeah, I think that's so smart. I think a lot of people don't realize that with doubles players, is that they practice hitting in the alleys, not just through the court, right? It's a lot of alley practice. And I want to ask you, I hear you have quite the blog. You blog every day. I think, you know, where is it? And you're making money off of it. You're blogging every day. I love it.
Almost every day. I write after every match and, you know, tell a little bit behind the scenes, send some pictures. I write a lot and quite often. It's my name.fi, Harri Heliovaara.fi, and just even Henry reads it through a Google Translate because it's in Finnish, but apparently you can easily understand it.
I like it
through the translation. And
I need to make sure you're not saying too many bad things.
So is it just it's a day in the life every day?
Basically,
Harri Heliovaara. That's really cool.
Living the dream. That's how I call the blog. And it's very popular in Finland. Like thousands of readers every day, and the comment section is getting more and more popular. I like that. If you get discussion with the fans.
That's so
cool.
Who
is? Wait. This around the shot.
I don't know. Watch this.
Where is this, and whose reaction is this?
No, this is a different point now, I think.
No,
it's the same point.
Canada last year?
Yes.
Well, that's Ben Shelton, I can see.
And Bublik, so I went a little bit in their face with the celebration.
You went in the face?
Celebration.
Hey, Chiz, you thought Harri is chill? Not here. He's like, take that.
Whole lap around the court.
You almost stepped on his racket.
Yeah, you did. You should have gone with the hang-up thing.
You know, it's interesting that I have to ask you, Harri, because, you know, I've been around you, played with you, against you, and you know, you are very chill on the court, but then you just let it all out at the end. Are you just bottling it up, and then it's just an explosion at the end?
I love celebrations.
Yeah, when you win a match, the celebrations are impressive.
That's one of my things. That's one of the things to make me, you know, more likable for the crowd. Maybe one day that sells a patch short too on my T-shirt.
Hey, Harri, I'm not trying to retire you, but at some time, Father Time is going to beat you. And you've had the airport job, you've had the private equity job. I mean, that's incredible. And then obviously the pro tennis player. What do you think afterwards? What do you think the job will be?
I have now also 2 kids. Sounds like I have way too many things in my life in the last 10 years, but it's been busy. But the 2 kids, 1-year-old, 3-year-old. I'm sure I'm gonna spend a lot of time with them once I retire. But hopefully a few more years on
And you've been spending a lot of time at the Aventura Mall here. What have you been buying for the family?
You have some amazing stuff in America that I bring home, some Disney clothes, everything we don't have in Finland. So they're going to be super happy when I go back.
I like it.
That's super cute. It's really cool for the show that we get to kind of tell the stories and highlight all the players, and it was great learning more about you guys. Congrats on the year so far and last year. Keep it rolling. I know you're both looking for that first Masters 1000 title, so good luck in that next round.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Appreciate it, guys.
Good luck. Keep it going.
That's cool.